Keyword, nurse. Nursedom. To all the white women that were coming after me in 2020, and some of y'all now. That's why I reposted my last video about black women taking care of white children. Clearly. But anyway, there's more to the video. Darkies, huh? From 1965. You keep trying to tell us this hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Standing in front of a Confederate flag saying there's some good darkies out there. Anybody's Mima? My dad was born in 1951. When this interview was being done, he was 14 years old. My dad, and he's still alive today, in his 70s. Y'all can miss us with this, oh, this type of thinking was so long ago, blah, 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 blah. No, it was not. This is why they don't want to teach true history, because Mima or Pop-Pop is going to show up in these videos. Some of them are getting ideas. What? For you guys to stop oppressing us? I hate when I like this. It just irritates my soul. Anyway, remember, diversity equal power. We can change the world when we work together and protect black women.
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. And shout out to my sister. I think her name is Mia Goddess. I'm using that video in fair use. But she played a video, and apparently from the caption of that video, the video was from 1965. And it had, I think, a woman from Mississippi. It said a Mississippi curator of the museum. And I guess she was giving some testimony about her, as she quoted, her association with them. And she started off by saying that we have some good Negroes here. And when I think about that, I think about, sometimes those same good Negroes will say, well, these are good white people here. And I guess they may be referring to the lady saying that if, I had one, right? She said she had one. Now, this is 1965 in Mississippi. And that lady was probably 60. So she may have been talking about, 20 or 30 years ago in 1930 or 40. She said she had one. Now, is she talking about that she owned one or that she had one who worked for her? Now, I even talked to a lady on the phone one time that said, I was born a slave. I was like, when were you born? She was like in the 80 or, in 60 or something like that. And that was in one of those states like Alabama or Mississippi. So I don't know if she's talking about she owned that lady, but the main part of what I want to talk about in that segment is the fact that she said that I had one and she actually nursed my children for about 6 years. And if you know what nurse means, that means the black woman breastfed the white babies. And you see a lot of pictures in the history books where you see a black baby hanging off the nipple of a white woman. Now, first of all, why would a superior being, as they say, want an animal, a beast, a dumb, rotten, all of those in-iger, all of those mean derogatory words that they used to call her? Why would they want their children taking supplements, taking fluid, taking actually the DNA of black women if we were so inferior? I think they knew the power of who we are. So that's why they had to subjugate it. Also, if anybody knows anything about breastfeeding, the woman had to have children herself within that time frame for her to be able to breastfeed. So where were her children at, and was she made to have children so that she can nurse these white children, as they used to make them do. So that part right there in 1965, and once again, that lady might have been 60, so maybe 20 or 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago, she's talking about having a black woman breastfeed her own children, while who knows what was happening to that own black woman's child. Then she tells the story of how her children come back to Virginia. Now, they were from Arlington, Virginia. Now, Virginia is still the South. I didn't know that till I moved there from North Carolina, but I thought I made it to the big city. But yeah, Virginia is still the South. So they came back, and the daughter and the brother came back with their children. Their children saw, I guess we'll call them Mamie, Big Mamie, come out and hug the two, white parents of those little kids. And there go my children right there. And the little kid looking back like, man, what is she talking about? And then the grandmother, the perceived slave owner, says, yeah, they was like a mother to your mother and father and your auntie, right? And so then she says, see, that's the association we had with them. There was not an equal playing field. There was a give and take. There was a receive. There was a use for black people back then in the benefits of white people. Now, long as the black people were complicit in their role, then there was not a problem. But you heard the lady say herself, well, you do have some of them that's getting ideas. And as the sister said, ideas of what? Y'all, we want y'all to stop oppressing us. No, you have to stay in that submissive place. Now, that goes all across America when you see these things happen, especially when, people are talking to the police, putting them in their place. No, you don't have the right to do that. You have to stay in your place. So don't get any ideas that you're smarter than me, that you know the Constitution more than me, that you know the law more than me. No, don't get any ideas, And so then she ends up, saying, yeah, we've got some good darkies, not good people, not good humans, because every time I talk about racism, people say, well, we are all the human race. Yeah, we are. But how are we going to be the human race when one part of that human race calls and treats the other part of the human race as darkies, as lesser than? So we cannot duck our head in the sand and say, yeah, we all humans, but we allow, some humans to be treated worse than others. We can't, we can't play that game. But our goddess Mia made a very valid point as well. This was in 1965. And I would have to concur because my father was born in 1953. So at the time of this video, he was 11 years old at the time of this video. Now, you think her children at the time of that video, may have been 20 or 30, right? So now they are, maybe, in their 80s or 90s. But those children who looked up and saw that, they got that same energy. They got that same energy. And those children who looked up and saw that are probably my age. 65. Well, no, they wouldn't be my age. But their children are probably my age. Nevertheless, the point we're trying to make is it's not that long ago. It's not many generations ago. Like that, like my father still talks about in Little Goldsboro, North Carolina, where they had to go in the back doors of places. My father, who's living today, like I can go and talk to him. I might even have him on the show one day. He can give me stories in his lifetime of how, they had to actual integrate high school. Like they didn't integrate high school in Goldsboro until 6 years after that video in 1971. And so this is not long ago, and the same children who were benefiting from that are my father's age now, and their children got the same tutelage that their parents got. And so while these things are less covert, less overt, there's still a lot of latent beliefs. Like I said, this is not something that went away with the civil rights movement or the election of Barack Obama or whatever milestone that you want to see. Like this video is clear-cut proof of how people felt about us and the ramifications of those feelings. As the scripture says, the sins of the father will fall thereof upon the children. Now, that doesn't mean the punishment of the sins. That means the sins. Like the sins of those, that lady right there, those sins go or transfer into the children. So they have that same nature, that sinful nature when it comes to that, if they have not, examined themselves. But I just wanted to point this out. Shout out to the girl, Mia Goddess. I think I've used a couple of her videos, but this is what I want people to see. Like, this is not that long ago. People who held those views have children who are living today. That's all I'm saying. And those children have children that they may have passed down those values. So when the next time you're talking about, that it's something so far away, keep in mind that 60 years ago, actually, there's a white lady in this video saying, we've got some very good darkies out there, but some of them are getting ideas. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video and the conversation in the comments. And as always, 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings.